Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. As always, just going to give you some things to think about. It is Saturday, the 6th day of August, 2020. I will not be doing a live tonight at midnight unless if I do a live, it will be after midnight. I'm going to be on a Zoom call, part of a panel discussing some things. So don't look for me live at midnight tonight, but subscribe and hit that notification bell, because if something happens later on tonight that we need to come on live, we will. I say that because there are numerous things going on around the world to think about. Something is happening in Israel at the moment. It's called Operation Breaking Dawn. Operation Breaking Dawn. You'll hear about it in a day or two. There was intelligence gathered by Mossad, the Israeli intelligence force, that a terrorist attack was about to be launched from Gaza. And the Israelis shut the Gaza border down in the south part of Israel. And so no food, no fuel, and basically no transportation to and from your job. So there wasn't enough gas to run the power plant, so there's no electricity in Gaza at the moment. And basically, Israel launched a preemptive missile strike on terrorist leadership, in their terms. And it has been ongoing. The mainstream's not talking a lot about it. We're not going to show you. I've got pictures of the missile strikes and all of that, and we're not going to show that because we want to stay on the air, and we don't want to violate any community standards, and they're constantly evolving. And since I can't talk about what's happening in Eastern Europe between the unicorns and the Magogs. I'm not going to go into too much detail on what's happening in Israel, except to say that there are operations ongoing, and it's called Operation Breaking Dawn. Not only is it focusing on the south and the Gaza area, which is a 6-mile wide, 25-mile long strip that 2 million people live in. It's also going on in the north towards Lebanon, and with involvement from Hamas. So just wanted to start by letting you know those things. Now, also, last night we had a special episode, and hang around to the end. We're going to talk about that and show some of the footage you probably missed. You missed it because it was my fault. Everything happened really fast, and I tried to get set up in a hurry and didn't check the sound, and I had 2 sound sources going for the first section of the video, and I do apologize for that. We're going to show some of that coming up here, but first we're going to start with what's going on. One of the biggest stories that and we do this on Saturdays, big stories that have not gotten enough attention or have gotten overlooked, and it is the Brianna Taylor case for this week by far. Current and former Louisville, Kentucky police officers charged with federal crimes related to the death of Brianna Taylor. Charges include federal civil rights offenses, unlawful conspiracies, obstruction offenses, and use of excessive force. So those officers will be brought to trial. And as we've said, depending on how you look at this, if you look at it from a human perspective and an innocent person was killed by police, you want justice. If you look at it from a bigoted perspective and you say she got what she deserved, this is probably not going to make you happy. And you're probably not going to be happy with much of anything in this show, but do stick around, because all we do is give you things to think about. We don't tell you what to think or how to think. So here's what's happening as far as mainstream right now. Russian hypersonic missile scientist has been arrested on treason charges, travel problems going on, unsustainable air travel situations. I know there were 1,400 different flights canceled yesterday. I haven't heard the number for today as of this recording. The former president and yet to be declared a candidate for the next presidential election, which is well over 2 years away, is speaking at CPAC in Texas tonight. He spoke last night at one of his rallies, and the rhetoric is getting more extreme, and the hinting of violence is troubling. So we'll see what the former president says tonight. Then there's this. There's a lot in Dems' new tax and clean energy bill that could change what kinds of vehicles Americans drive. And I've said this before on here. I've got a real problem with this. I've got a real problem with trying to steer towards electric vehicles when we don't have enough electricity to keep the power grid going in many areas during excessive heat waves like we've been having. So far in the area I'm in, we haven't had any blackouts. Other parts of the country are not so fortunate. So shouldn't we be focused more on trying to really make our power grid as sustainable as possible before we start really trying to force an alternative? And I say this for two reasons. One is because a big portion of what's going on with CO2 is the fact that the deforestation of the world is going on, and has been going on, and plant life takes CO2 and converts it into oxygen and releases it back into the air. And somewhere along the line, too many people in power didn't pay enough attention to basic elementary science to understand that. And the focus is diverted to men. Okay, mankind has created all this pollution, blah, blah, blah. And there are going to be some of you that don't agree with me on that. And that's okay. I have a problem with this primarily because of this. This is Tesla's roadside assistance vehicle filling up with gas. This is the Tesla roadside assistance vehicle filling up with gas at the gas pump. A lot of Dems, tax and clean. I didn't want to. Addressing climate is a totally different thing. But anyway, 1,000 words can be generated by just this one picture. Tesla's roadside assistance vehicle filling up at the gas pump. I have a problem with what seems to be almost a mandatory pushing towards electric vehicles. I have a problem with it for two reasons. One, I just said that we should have as impenetrable power grid as possible, and we don't. We have a power grid that has been neglected and is incredibly susceptible to everything from electromagnetic pulses generated by the sun, which we're going to get to in just a few minutes, or to an EMP from another country. an electromagnetic pulse weapon from another country, or just into domestic terrorism, foreign terrorism, taking down the right transformers. And the second reason is just as important, at least to me. People aren't going to be able to afford to buy electric vehicles, and people aren't going to be able to afford the electricity to power those vehicles. Now, the people that can afford electrical vehicles will be able to afford the power for those electrical vehicles. All this is another division. All this is another, well, you can't travel because you can't afford an electric vehicle. You can't afford the power that goes to move an inefficient electrical vehicle. It's going to just end up being another division, and it's I hope it's becoming more and more evident to people that this is an ongoing push to separate, to keep divided, to widen already divides between the haves and the have-nots. Because the haves are just going to go, well, what, too bad for you. Why can't you afford that? Just something to think about. Okay. A quick look at what's going on with the sun. And again, we've kind of focused on this because areas, as you can see, that are incredibly active are going to be heading our way. And again, this little dot right here in the middle of this square, right there, that is Earth. So that's how big Earth is compared to the sun. Now you can see really clearly here why we're concerned, because these are incredibly active regions and they're going to be making their way towards Earth. And we've got a big spot right now. Here you get a better view of how active these regions are. So just wanted to share that with you, because I've got a theory that it's all connected. All right, the sun, the magnetic forces, the electromagnetic pulses, the X-rays, the M rays, the C rays that the flares bring, all impact on Earth. And I think the solar activity, the weakening magnetic field, the increasing number of weather phenomenon, I think it's all connected. And current science doesn't want to even consider that. Everything's got to be, everything's caused for that specific reason, and it's not the case. It's when something happens, it has an equal or opposite impact on whatever it's impacting. And with that being said, with the amount of solar activity that's going on, with the amount of minor earthquakes happening in certain areas, don't be surprised if there is not, in the next 24 to 48 hours, don't be surprised if there's not a major earthquake around Japan. And don't be surprised if there's not a 4 to 5 magnitude quake somewhere in the Southern California region, simply because of what we've been monitoring with the theory that earthquakes travel along the plates. Okay, and again, just something to think about. We started out talking about Operation Dawn. I told you I wasn't going to show you any pictures or any video or anything, but this came in an hour ago. Just to let you know that confrontation is ongoing. They are firing rockets from Gaza, and we'll keep an eye on that. Anytime Israel is militarily involved in anything, it's something that we have to be focused on, especially those of us that are of one of the Abrahamic faiths, that know the prophecies that impact the world. Okay, as I said back in the beginning, we were I was informed that WYSIWYG, who was a live streamer with the 1776 movement. He was with the Trekker Convoy before that, and he kind of pulled back away and has been observing from afar. And he basically came out with two of the people that work on his team on his channel, Kerfuffle and Rooster. They kind of came out and talked a little bit last night about doxing, which is giving somebody's name and information and everything you can possibly find on them, putting it on the internet so people can use it to hurt them. And it's been going on in this movement for quite some time. And it's not only their enemies that are.
Okay. Welcome, baby.
Well, thank you, sweetheart.
Behind the mirrors in here.
Behind the mirrors in there.
Welcome, baby. Thank you for the tech help there behind the mirror. Yeah, Rooster's working out the audio issue right now.
Okay.
It's the worst. Yep.
Bump it up here a little bit.
But yeah, that's where we are.
Okay, so for those that missed it last night, you can go back and watch the whole thing if you want to at WYSIWYG TV, WYSIWYG TV. He's already had 6,700 views. And I want to talk about that in a minute too. Actually, I'll go ahead and talk about it now, kind of try to squeeze it in. I obviously I play a lot of the science stuff because it's information I think that people should have access to. And talking to some of them, let me just say, if I do a live, if I do a premiere, which this will probably be, or if I just do a regular episode, I have 231 viewers on average. And it doesn't matter. So I've either got 231 people that watch everything I do, and that's it, that's all, or I've got people that come in and out and watch certain things, and it just so happens it's 231, or there's a cap. And I had never, when we started this, I never considered all this stuff, all the algorithms involved and the shadow ban and not promotions and things like that. One of the science guys, his is capped at 300. He has 300 views no matter what he said. And this, I didn't even bring up, wow, this is what's been happening in my channel. I just listen. He was capped at 300 views. He's got over 500,000 subscribers. And out of 500,000 subscribers, only 300 are watching. Now, why does this matter? Well, if you go on YouTube and you're looking for something to watch and you see two videos and one video has 300 people, 300 views, and the other one has 15,000 views, you're going to probably click on the 15,000 views because more people have watched it. And chances are what you're supposed to be watching are the ones that are capped at probably 500 and under in a lot of situations. I'm not saying mine's a, but you get what I'm saying. A lot of times things aren't as they appear, and that may be the case here.
This doxing of people has gone across the board with Anarchy Princess, Defender of Ants,
Jersey J, they got into.
Jersey J. This has been happening with anyone that they feel is a threat over there. It's the only channel that I'm aware of that is actively doxing people. There's no other live stream that I'm aware of. If I'm wrong, please comment and let me know.
And YouTube, if you are watching everything I do, which I've been told you are, cool. I'm just talking the truth. But if you're watching, take a look at this Oreo Express channel that they're talking about and what they've been doing.
We've not found anybody else that's doxing people, other than Defender of Ants, Anarchy Princess, the squirrels. That's something that they've been doing. Unacceptable. This is not something that we will have ever done. And like I said before, we've had plenty of opportunities to do those sorts of things. We don't find it necessary.
So basically, he's exposing what the 1776 movement has been doing, and we'll come up here to a little bit of the proof.
I mean, having the police come to your house, I have a kid. It's not cool. And also, in one of my boxes that they posted today, they called me a cam girl, which is not true. And they posted pictures.
It wasn't even a cam girl site.
No, it wasn't even a cam girl site.
And it's been shut down for how many years?
Yeah.
They don't even pay attention to what they're putting out. They don't even know what it is they're putting out. They just grasp at straws. We saw them do that with Spora.
And that's what they do. That's what this far right extremists have been doing. It's like an echo chamber in there. They put something out, and remember, we talk about this a lot on here. You tell a lie, a big enough lie, and you tell it long enough and often enough, people will believe it. Well, it doesn't take these people long to believe. And you put a lie out, and suddenly, the old story, a lie will go all the way around the world, for the truth has its shoes tied. Just something to think about.
And the information that was being put out about her, it's comical when you really look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. One final thing I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of. All right. In order to punish this person, they put a picture of her with a Black Lives Matter shirt on. Okay, it gives you a mindset here. In order to punish this person, they used a picture of her with a Black Lives Matter shirt. It's Oreo Express. It's clear right here who's doing this. The guy is bigoted at the best and a white supremacist more than likely, just from this action alone. He puts it up there to shame her. And that gives us something to think about as far as where we're at in America today. Thank you for watching. We'll be back soon. Hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share, hit the notification bell, leave a comment below. It is a premiere, so you can comment as you're watching on that. And if you'd like to leave a super chat, you could do that. We we don't talk about super chats a lot. Cashapp is $ American Doofus, all one word, AMERICANDUFUS. Same thing for the email. It is americandufus, all one word, @gmail.com. Again, thank you all so very much for watching. Have a blessed rest of your Saturday, and we will see you very, very soon with another edition of Something to Think About or Late Night America right here on the American Doofus channel. Thanks for watching.